All right, so you just got started trading in the stock market, or at least you're interested. And one of the questions going through your mind is, how long before I start making some money? When can I retire my wife, fire my boss, put the kids through college, or buy that dream car? Listen, the time frame is going to vary from person to person, but in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 steps that if you follow can help compress the progress to get into your goals with trading in the stock market. So keep watching. All right, so let's talk about how to speed up your process to get to the other side of success in trading in the stock market. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to treat the stock market like it's school. When you go to school, college, or university, the first thing you have to do is pick a major and pick a minor. With respect to the stock market, I want you to do the same thing. But in this industry, what you're trying to major in is reading stock charts. But you have to go a level deeper. I want you to determine if you're going to major in looking at bullish stock charts or you're going to look at bearish stock charts. So you want to determine, what does the chart look like before the stock starts to go higher, or what does the chart look like before the stock starts to go lower or bearish? So you're going to major in bullish or bearish stock chart reading. Now your minor, I want you to pick a strategy that supports your major. So if you pick reading bullish stock charts, your minor is going to be, what's the strategy associated with it once I've identified that pattern? Do I want to buy options? Do I want to buy the actual stock? Do I want to buy a mutual fund or an index that actually has the stock in it? Okay, so now that we got a major and a minor, I want you to start looking at a ton of stock charts. Now, what does a ton mean? Well, for me, I used to look at 100 stock charts a night when I first started trading. Not because I was bored, but because literally I was excited to just look at these charts and see if I can identify these patterns of what a stock looked like before it went higher or what before it went lower. So that's going to be part 2 of speeding up the process, is increasing the rate in which your eye and your brain can identify what you've decided to major and minor in. So once you've decided you wanted to major in bullish stocks, I want you looking for tons of stock charts that support what you're trying to find and trying to identify these stocks before they move higher. And then I want you to start looking at, what is the stock cost, or what is the option cost, whatever your minor is, to support the strategy that you're going to put into play. You have to be able to find these things quickly and identify them when you see them, because the market moves every single day. And the faster you can identify that pattern, the faster you can start implementing your minor, which is your strategy, so that you can get to the other side of success. All right, now let's talk step number 3. And this is my favorite. Practice your way to profits. Yep, that's right. I want you to practice your way to profits. You've already picked a major. You've already picked a minor, which is your strategy. You've already been looking at tons of stock charts and testing yourself to see if you can identify the trades that support your major and your minor. Well, now this is where hands-on application comes into play. See, what you want to be able to do is get familiar with your trading platform. You want to know, am I buying the open? Am I selling the close? How much is commission? How much would I made on this? Am I controlling my emotions when I get into this trade? Am I getting out at the right level when it hits my profit or it hits my loss if it goes against me? This is where practice is going to come into play, because by the time you put real money to work, there's no time to wonder, how do you actually buy the trade, or how do you actually enter it? How do you actually exit it? You should already know this because you've been practicing your way to profits, and you also have a track record to support that. You know how to identify what you're majoring in, you know how to execute your minor and your strategy, and now you've tested it in a simulated environment. Think about a pilot flying an airplane. You want him to know before he gets up in the air in a real plane if he's scared of heights. You need to figure out the same thing in the stock market. You need to know before you put real money to work if your major is the one that's going to work for you. And more importantly, if your minor, that strategy is going to support your financial goals. And then you also need to practice it and find out, do I even know how to execute on it once I see it? So that's step number 3 in the process. Okay, your 4th and final step to speeding up the stock trading process and compressing the time it's going to take to you to get to the other side of success is, I want you to think about this like sports. If you think about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, you think about Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, right, who were in the Olympics. You think about the gold medal winners, you think about the any championship team or sports, the winners, what do they all have in common? That's right. If you guessed it, they have a coach. They have a coach in common. You got someone telling Michael Jordan, here's how you shoot the ball. Here's the defense we want to run. Here's where you're lacking on the court. You got someone telling Michael Phelps, here's how you want to practice and train in the water to hold your breath. Here's what you want to do on your backstroke, your butterfly, your front stroke. You got to think about it like this. If you're in an industry that you're not familiar with, you want to link up with someone who's been there before, who's had some success, had some losses, has overcome the emotional ups and downs of being in that industry, and they can coach you and lead you and help you watch out for some of those landmines that you're absolutely going to run into. So whether it's myself, whether it's somebody else you respect in the industry, in order to speed up the process, I want you to be thinking about getting a coach, hooking up with someone where you can look over their shoulder and see, how are you finding stocks? How are you entering trades? How are you exiting trades? How are you dealing with losses when a trade goes against you? How do you repair a trade? Hey, listen, you can figure that out all on your own, but this video is about how do we compress and speed up the time. It's kind of like a kid. You've already touched the stove and you know it's hot, right? And you can tell the kid, hey, don't touch the stove, it's hot. Now, the kid can listen to you and speed up the process of never getting burnt. Or the kid can just say, I'm okay, mom and dad, I'm just go touch it, figure it out for myself. Now they got a blister, it's burning, it's hot. They gotta wait for this thing to heal. It's something that could have been avoided. So I want you to think about what mistakes you could avoid, or how could we increase what you're already doing well in the stock market by partnering with a coach. So those are your 4 steps. I want to recap here. Number 1, treat it like school. Pick a major, pick a minor, which is going to be your strategy. Number 2, you're going to look at a ton of stock charts. Again, for me, that was 100 a night. Number 3, you're going to practice your way to profits and make sure that the major you picked is working out, the minor you picked, the strategy is actually working out, and then the fact that you actually know how to execute it with inside your trading platform. And then number 4, we're going to package that all up with a coach to make sure that you don't make some of the mistakes or avoid some of the mistakes to help you get to the other side of success, so you can fire your boss, retire your wife, buy that new car, buy a house, whatever it is that's on your dream list. This is how you can potentially compress the time and speed up the process and get to the other side of success. I actually have a blog post and a full podcast where I go more in depth on these actions. So head on over to thebrownreport.com and check that out. You can also listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. I'll see you on the next video.